Welcome, it's Wednesday night, great to see you. We are here for the Livewires at Ignite self-isolation special showdown challenge evening vlog. We can't wait to get started. Let's jump right in.
It might have been 33. I'm not entirely sure. But it was definitely 32.
No, I'm actually disappointed.
Well, following this, we performed a steward's inquiry to investigate whether it was 32 or 33. We did confirm it was 32 questions asked. The problem is we also found this at question 7. You make up your own mind.
That's fine.
Are you sure?
Yes. 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 Yes.
Well, I imagine if Nathan was disappointed with 32, he's going to be really disappointed with this. Clearly, on question 7...
He's taking the mic. I didn't even say yet.
That means we have awarded him 6 points.
Absolutely wrong.
Good luck next time.
I'm texting
It
it.
doesn't last very long, does it? It'll be 2 questions in and he'll start saying...
Well, Nathan did text me, claiming that he was robbed and that he didn't agree with the steward's inquiry. Christy chimed in even, claiming there were some backhanders going on from Team Livewires. Claire McKeague was fuming, and she said she was just sticking up for a fellow Ignite leader when she was claiming that yeah is different to yes. Anyway, all I can say is this went on for a while, and I replied with laughing emoji faces. And the cheesecake from one of the Livewires leaders was absolutely delicious. Anyway, on with this week's Leaders Challenge.
It's time for the Leaders Challenge. And representing Livewires, we have Tom the Beard Ashford.
Here we go then. Tom, great to see you.
Yeah, you too, Nathan.
How are you doing, man?
Yeah, not too bad. A bit warm.
Yeah, we were just saying before about how if you have a beard in this weather, it's like a sheep.
Yeah.
It needs shaving off, doesn't it?
No.
Yours is getting mighty fine. I'm very jealous.
I need to shave these bits and my hair. I wear a hat all the time outside because I can't stand my hair.
Yeah, the troubles of lockdown, this is, isn't it?
Yeah.
How has lockdown been going? How has been keeping yourself busy?
Yeah, playing lots of games with my wife, Rose.
Yeah,
I've been enjoying that.
I've been following you on Facebook, and Rose is demolishing you.
She is. She's won 10, and I've won 4.
It's not a great record, mate.
There's a chance. There's a little bit of hope for me to come back after this.
Not going to happen.
No, it's not.
I was just thinking, Tom, have you got a good game that you could recommend, like, so that people might not have played before, but like a good one to start off with, maybe?
Yeah, so this is King of Tokyo, and this is the new edition. If you have an old copy or you get an old copy, it'll look different than this. But essentially, it's a game of Yahtzee. If anyone's ever played Yahtzee, and you've got your figures, which might look like that, like the Kraken. Or
cool graphics, aren't they?
They are. This was the new edition. This is why it was so hyped.
Yeah.
Or I think this is Mecha Dragon or something like that.
So, if you've not seen Yahtzee before, Yahtzee is like a dice game, isn't it? Where you roll against each other.
Yeah. So you've got these really nice embossed dice. This is one of my newest games I got for my birthday. And you essentially just roll them, and you can keep some of them or put some of them aside.
You roll.
Yeah.
Sweet. So
one is.
Have you played that against Rose yet?
We haven't yet. I'm hoping to get to play it tonight. It's not the old editions aren't 2-player, but you can make it 2-player.
Okay. But she'll no doubt beat you. Is what we're getting at.
She's she's played it
absolutely.
before. I have played it a few times, but not as much as her.
Well, we're here really though for the finer business of a more old-fashioned game, Tom. This is the a yes/no game.
Yeah.
I've got my cards here as usual, and I've got my little bell to signify when you say yes or no. Hopefully, unlike last week, I won't miss you saying it and go on for another 25 questions or whatever. But there we go. So just a quick reminder of the rules is that you're not allowed to say yes, no, or hesitate, as in leave a pause. You haven't got much to beat. Pete Walford got 2 the first week, and Nathan got 6 the next week, which he's still very unhappy about.
But my track record with games.
Yeah, that's true.
Only one question.
We should have asked Rose to play instead of you. Right, mate, are you ready?
I am.
Here we go. Let's see how many you can get through. So from now on, no more yes, no's, or maybe, or hesitate type thing. Okay?
That's
Marvelous.
fine.
Let's go. Tom, do you eat out?
I do.
What's your favourite quick snack?
Ooh, it must be pasta.
Do you say beef burgers?
I said pasta. You know I said
do
pasta.
Do you like those gherkin things that they put on burgers?
I do. Gherkins, yeah. I know. Can I have a try over?
Yeah. No, 3. 3.
Oh dear.
Oh, no need for a video replay on that one.
The weird thing is, I actually got past the question fine.
Yeah, well, you started pontificating on gherkins.
I just think about gherkins. I love gherkins. I miss McDonald's.
Hey, it does, doesn't it? You can't have McDonald's without a gherkin on.
No.
Well, mate, it's been great to see you.
Yeah, you too.
And we'll see you another time, mate.
Absolutely. See you later, Nathan.
Enjoy yourself.
Hello and welcome to James's Jokes. Today's joke is Sprinkle Bomb Card. This time it's new games and jokes.
James's Jokes. Why I oughta.
You've been watching James's Jokes. Be careful when you laugh though, because next time the joke could be on you.
What up, dog? This is Bang Average Joe right here. The name's Joe and I'm bang average. But the question is, are you? This is Bang Average Joe's intelligence test. There's gonna be 4 questions. You gotta see how many you can answer. But don't forget the all-important 5th. What links the above? That's the key to Bang Average Joe's intelligence test. See how you get on, dog. Bang Average Joe's intelligence test. Question 1. The name of the region at the westernmost point of France. Boo! Bang Average Joe's intelligence test. Question 2. The county in England where you would get a tasty savory snack filled with mince and onion and potato. Boom! Question 3 in Bang Average Joe's intelligence test. The 18th century water-based transportation device used by notorious villains. Booyah! Question 4 in Bang Average Joe's intelligence test. This is commonly used at the end of races to signify the finishing line, especially in Formula 1. Don't forget number 5, y'all. 5. What links all 4 of the above? Boom! Good luck, y'all. See you next week for the answers. Good evening, everyone. As many of you'll know who've been watching the Livewires and Ignite vlog for a long time, I love to use a green screen. And what I thought I'd do tonight is try and help tell the story using my green screen. And what I thought I'd do is I'd take you to places in the story as we reflect on it tonight. It's the story of Jesus dying on the cross, which many of you will have heard before in some way or another. And what I want to do tonight is think not only about sort of the places and the events that happen, but also reflect on why it had to happen. So we're going to go to the first place and pick up the story in Mark's Gospel, Mark's good news story written from eyewitness accounts. And the first place we're going to go to is a garden. A garden. Of course, a garden. It all started in a garden. All the way back at the beginning in Genesis, Adam and Eve went wrong in a garden. And we find Jesus here in Mark struggling with what's about to happen. says they went to a place called Gethsemane, and Jesus said to his disciples, "Sit here while I pray." He took Peter, James, and John along with him, and he began to be deeply distressed and troubled. "My soul is overwhelmed with sorrow, to the point of death," he said to them. "Stay here and keep watch." Going a little farther, he fell to the ground and prayed that if possible, the hour might pass from him. "Abba, Father," he said, "everything is possible for you. Take this cup from me, yet not I will, but what you will." An interesting phrase at the end there, not I will, but what you will. This is possibly Jesus' chance of an escape, a chance to run away from it all, a chance to back out at the last minute. But he knows he's got to do the Father's will. He's got to keep on going. This is a bigger task for him to do, and he's got to do it. And he's got to follow it through, all the way, even till death. Well, in this garden, in the evening time, whilst he was praying, he was approached by a friend, Judas, who betrayed him with a kiss and allowed the Jews to capture Jesus and take him away and put him on trial. Which is where we find our next scene, if you like, in Mark's Gospel. And that's at a courtyard with lots of people gathered around a fire. And they spot somebody who they think they know. Let me read this for you. "After a little while, those standing near," that's near the fire presumably, "said to Peter, 'Surely you are one of them, for you are a Galilean.' He began to call down curses and swore to them, 'I don't know this man you're talking about.'" Jesus, having firstly been betrayed by a friend, now is disowned by possibly his best friend. This is a serious thing what's going on, as his best friends deny him. But it also shows us how lonely Jesus is. And that's deliberate. He's very lonely. He's left all alone. Everybody leaves him. But that shows us that it's only he who can do what God is wanting him to do. He has to do this alone. And everybody else has rejected him anyway. Well, the next morning, following on from these evening events, the Jews who can find really nothing wrong with him, so they make up lots of accusations and test him and claim that he's blasphemous and all sort of things, decide they've got to send him off to the Romans if they want anything properly to be done about him. So they send him over to the Roman governor Pilate. And before Pilate, Jesus stands silent. And this amazes Pilate. Is it arrogance or confidence maybe? No, I think it's more acceptance. Knowing that what has to happen. And he's ready for it to happen as he travels towards the cross. Let's pick the story up in Mark's Good News story. Now it was custom at the festival to release a prisoner whom the people requested. A man called Barabbas was in prison with rebels who had committed murder in the uprisings. The crowd came up and asked Pilate to do for them what he usually did. Do you want me to release to you the King of the Jews? Asked Pilate. Knowing it was out of self-interest that the chief priests had handed Jesus over to him. But the chief priests stirred up the crowd to get Pilate to release Barabbas instead. What shall I do then with the one you call the King of the Jews? Pilate asked them. Crucify him, they shouted. Why? "What crime has he committed?" asked Pilate. But they shouted all the louder, "Crucify him." And wanting to satisfy the crowd, Pilate released Barabbas to them. He had Jesus flogged and handed him over to be crucified. They could find nothing wrong with Jesus, and that's really important, because the only way in which Jesus can be accepted as a sacrifice by God, the only way that he could save sins, the only way he could deal with man's biggest problem is because he is perfect in the eyes of God. He'd done nothing wrong. Not any Roman governor could find nothing wrong with him. And so finally, we shift towards the cross. And there we see Jesus with two thieves, two people who had done wrong, and yet an innocent person in the middle of them. And above his head says was written this: "It was 9 a.m. when they crucified him. The written notice charge against him read, 'The King of the Jews.' They crucified 2 rebels with him, one on his right, one on his left." The charge was meant to be ironic. It's meant to have a dig maybe at the Jews. This is your king you're crucifying. What Pilate didn't realize, and what the Jews didn't realize, is how true that statement was. This was their king they were crucifying. But did they recognize him? No. Did they understand who he was? Maybe. But they'd rejected him. They didn't want him. And finally, we see Jesus die. At noon, darkness came over the whole land until 3 p.m. And at 3 p.m, Jesus cried out in a loud voice, "Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani," which means, my God, why have you forsaken me? Why have you turned your back on me, God? Why had God turned his back on him? Well, it's because of what Jesus had become. Jesus on the cross took all the wrongdoing, all our sin onto himself, so that no longer was he the perfect one, but he was consumed with sin and sacrificed on our behalf as sinners. And that meant God turned his back on him just for those moments to say, "I can't even look at you, son. Look at all the wrong you've took on." But yet that was God's plan all along, in Jesus, to deal with our sin problem. And as if to show that, Mark does a strange thing. From following these outside incidents after incident after incident, he switches completely and goes to somewhere you wouldn't expect. He goes to the temple in Jerusalem, the place where God was meant to be, the place which symbolized God's relationship with his people. And Mark tells us this happened after Jesus had breathed his last. The curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. That's incredible. So that very symbol of where God was, that very symbol of his relationship with mankind, the temple of God's presence, hidden away behind a curtain because man was too sinful to look at God. Suddenly, as all the sins of the world are took on Jesus and he is sacrificed, that curtain rips apart, saying, God, it's as if God was saying, look, there's a way now. You can come through to me because your sin has been dealt with. That biggest problem has been dealt with. It's the way in. So as we come to this sort of mini conclusion, if you like, we see our sin being dealt with by Jesus on the cross. We see a way up to God opened through the temple, because of Jesus' sacrifice. And that leaves us with something to think about. Jesus went to the cross, took the sin for those who trust in him so that there could be a way back to God's special place. Do you believe and trust in Jesus that he did that for you? Do you believe he went through that agony alone, that sorrow and frustration we saw in the garden, that silent acceptance in front of Pilate, and then that agony on the cross of God forsaking him? Do you believe he did that for you? Jesus opens the way back to God. And that's great news. And we're going to see next time that not only does Jesus deal with our sin problem and open a way, actually, by what happens next, he proves that there is eternal life for those who trust in him. So the story continues next week, and it just gets better and better and better. So make sure you come back next week.
Okay, Buster here with the answers from week 2. Yes, the eye of the tiger is the thrill of the fight, rising up to the challenge of our rivals. And the last known survivor stalks his prey in the night, and he is watching us all with the eye of a tiger. Because I'm half a belong if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy clap along if you feel like that's what you wanna do. Because I'm happy clap along if you feel like room without a roof. Oh, doobie-doo, I wanna be like you. I wanna walk like you, talk like you too. You see, it's true, someone like me can learn to be like someone like you. Oh, doobie-doo, I wanna be like you. I wanna walk like you, talk like you too. You see, it's true, someone like me can learn to be like someone like you. There you go.
Buster here, the Bust Up Busker, here with a few more rhymes for you. Just a reminder of the rules, 3 rules. 1, I'm Bust Up, I'm the Busker. I can only sing the first letter of words. 2, I can only sing out of tune. And 3, I only sing choruses. Here we go. The theme this week is musical. TISHF NIAB NAT ODIM MIIL IAB ICL HIIT TISHF NIAB NAT ODIM IIL IAB ICL HIIT ICME BBTC TSFC WITIK FFA SWW BTWWS ABWD ICME DBTC TSFC WITIK FFA SWW BTWWS ADWD. Okay, last one. IDA FY FYMETM IKTIGA FYSA FYSEIS IBA FYBA FYMETM IKTIGA FYSA FYSEIS. There you go, that's all of them.
Okay guys, that's a wrap. Great to see you all. I hope you enjoy your self-isolation as much as I'm enjoying it. Do try some of the challenges and send them in. The details will be on the screen at the end. Do check out Facebook and YouTube and different things going on online from church. Do join us Sunday mornings at 10:30. Not in the building, but on YouTube. But keep watching, keep sending your things in, and hopefully we'll get to play some of them next week. See you later.